when speaking of migrants, and it turns out who is actually here to help Floridians, well, it appears that it's Venezuelan migrants. Yeah, that's right. They are being transported from New York City, reportedly, to Florida to help with the hurricane aid cleanup. Now, the migrants had scant information about whom they'd be working for, but they still got into vans in Queens, New York, and came down. This is what we know. So they want us for hurricane cleanup. We'd get paid $15 an hour overtime and $15 for daily food, I think, said Javier Moreno, 37, noting that a woman named Camilla from an organization approached him with a flyer. Now, others had also mentioned this Camilla woman who had recruited them as well. Jezario, I believe, Avia, 22, said he came from Venezuela and entered the US through Texas before being bused to Gotham. Avila said a lady here had offered him and others work in Tampa. A driver in one of the vans at the designated pickup site said he was under contract with the water and debris company. The firm did not answer its phone despite repeated attempts to call by the Post. Also, one migrant woman said she learned of the vans and potential work from group chats that the migrants are in. We all decided we should go, she said. Asked who was offering the work, she said, I don't know anything, sweetheart. Yeah, some of these migrants said that they are learning about the opportunity from a WhatsApp ad, believe it or not. And a spokesperson for Mayor Eric Adams there in New York said City Hall was not involved in the transport of any migrants, and Florida officials did not return requests for comment. And it's so incredibly interesting, as we know that Governor Ron DeSantis did that completely inhumane effort to bring migrants from Texas to Martha's Vineyard those few weeks ago, even though those migrants hadn't set foot in Florida yet. It's migrants now who are going to Florida to help. And as far as that Martha's Vineyard story goes, we have an update that the recruiting person has been identified. They were able to find out who this person was who had recruited those migrants to get on the plane to go to Martha's Vineyard. Now, the New York Times reported Sunday that the woman is Perla Huerta, a former combat medic and counterintelligence agent who was discharged in August after 2 decades in the US Army that included several deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan, according to military records. Now, a Venezuelan migrant working with Huerta to recruit other migrants had confirmed her identity. The man who agreed to speak on the condition that his name not be used said he first met Ms. Huerta on September 10th outside of the Migrant Resource Center in San Antonio. She asked him to help her recruit other migrants like him from Venezuela, but he said he felt betrayed because she never mentioned working on behalf of the Florida government. I was also lied to, he said. If I had known, I would not have gotten involved. All he was told, he said, was that she wanted to help people head up north. Yeah, that Huerta woman, she is based out of Tampa, Florida. And we don't necessarily know her status with Hurricane Ian, but it's a hell of a thing knowing that the Venezuelan migrants are coming to the aid of Floridians, especially given all the efforts that Ron DeSantis did to exploit and dehumanize the Venezuelan migrants that he picked up in Texas and took to Martha's Vineyard. Jessica.
It's amazing that we're at a point in our history where a lot of the dominant narratives we've told Americans for years and years and years are no longer standing up to the evidence of what goes on every day in our country. So this was a counterintelligence agent, no doubt, but involved in some capacity with the coups we did in Latin America through the latter part of the last century. And who we have as migrants doing this labor are refugees from countries we attempted to coup during the time that she was working as a counterintelligence agent. That is insane. We also have this reality where we're always told, they're coming for your jobs, they're replacing your work, there's not enough jobs to go around. Here you have them transporting people from New York to Florida to work on the hurricane relief effort. Their labor is needed, clearly in this country. But let's also point out that $15 an hour in most places around the country today is not enough to live on. And so it's this exploitation precisely, probably at the hands of the government, considering she's a counterintelligence agent. We're not sure who put her up to this, but I would not be surprised to find out it's linked to the DeSantis administration or a federal agency to get these people to go down there to help. But it's just shocking that we have these narratives that immigrants are coming to steal your jobs. That's just an argument that's founded in racism. There are more than enough jobs to go around. We could have a public option for employment and have people on call when there's a disaster to go off and do that work. And we have this illusion that there are not enough jobs to go around and people don't want to work, when the reality of the situation is there are more than enough jobs to go around. We just need to pay workers a living wage. And it's not a problem that refugees are crossing the border, because it's our state-led violence that led them to becoming refugees.
Yep, it's so interesting. It's all very cyclical, but I love the fact that there are plenty of jobs, just not enough decent employers. That seems to be a very, very American issue, and hopefully someday it'll be one that we overcome.